It is now my great privilege to introduce to you the honorary speaker today, a classmate by 2 years difference. Ken Mortenson graduated from MBA in 1963. I remember him as a tall, skinny guy. Of which he still is. He remembers me as a tall, handsome, big man on campus. I penciled that in. Perhaps one of us is right. He retired in 2000 from Oppenheimer Capital, where he was managing director, responsible for investing assets for clients totaling $12 billion. A graduate of Carleton College with an MBA from the University of Michigan, Ken Mortenson began his career at Ken America Bank in Detroit, where he worked for 12 years before moving to New York and joining Oppenheimer. Mr. Mortenson also serves on the Board of Partnership with Children, a nonprofit agency that makes social work services available to children in New York City Public Schools. And he also serves on the board of the Glaucoma Foundation as the head of the investment committee. Ken is a proven philanthropist, supporting all of these causes and institutions. And we appreciate that he still keeps coming back and giving back to Morgan Park Academy. I'm very proud to introduce to you Ken Mortenson.
Well, at least Jim didn't do any hair jokes. Good afternoon and congratulations. 50 years ago this week, I sat where you're sitting, figuratively, not literally. We were outside in Jones Bowl, and it was a very hot day, so it'll be a lot nicer than here. I promise I will not devote our time together to reminiscing about the past. However, I'd like to share a little something with you. This is a copy of the 1963 compendium, my graduating year. This is the first yearbook to use that name. The previous name was Morganite, which sounds slightly like a popular cover for a kitchen counter or a bathroom counter. The yearbook staff, of which I was a member, were looking for a new name, and compendium was actually suggested by my mother. Quite possibly because none of us in the staff had any idea what the word meant. We chose it, but I am pleased to say it still endures today. Our all-male class was the first one to enter a non-military Morgan Park Academy. That fact wasn't fully appreciated by some of the upperclassmen who had borne the brunt of their plebe status in earlier years and had been looking forward to a bit of payback. I should hasten to add, however, Mr. Mitchell was a good guy, not a bad guy. We had 22 freshmen in our class, but only 13 made it through the 4 years to graduation. Permit me to briefly quote from our class history and give you some sense of why only 13 made it through. One of our more noteworthy flashes of pan from our freshman year was a young lad who tried to burn down a gymnasium, but both he and the fire were quickly put out. Co-eds arrived my sophomore year, actually two, and Maureen closed just before my senior year, so we had an influx of 6 additional co-eds in our class, and our graduating class swelled to 36. When Dr. Rathwell asked me to speak today, I was frankly uncertain as to why I was qualified to spend this very important time with you. Then a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday, I was reading the Wall Street Journal, and I came upon this article. And I think, I don't know if people will read it from out there, but it's a column down here called "Give Commencement Podiums to Losers." So I think we saw that this week. Actually, Joe Queenan's tongue-in-cheek article suggests that perhaps we can all learn more from hearing the mistakes of a Bernie Madoff, an Anthony Weiner, or a Mel Gibson, rather than the feats of someone like Bill Gates. Those people have accomplishments that are virtually impossible to duplicate. Now, hoping I haven't totally ruined any critical as a speaker, I'd like to spend the next few minutes sharing a top 4 to-do list for you to consider as you go forward. Please think of this as the opposite of a not top 10 list. In writing a commencement speech, it's an effort to avoid excessive use of cliches, things like follow your heart, grab the brass ring, reach for the stars, save the whales, generally save the world. These are all noble goals, but not necessarily realistic nor attainable. Instead, I'd like to focus our 4 topics on things that can be in your grasp. As an introduction to the first to-do item, I'd like to share a story with you. There was an English class, and the teacher was working with the students on the correct subject and verb to use, and she was going through with the he, will, we are, etc. And then she asked the students to give her some more examples. And the young man in the first row, who was a little bit of a troublemaker, said, I is. The teacher said, well, oh no. He said, yes, yes, yes. And she said, okay, use in a sentence. And he said, I is the 9th letter of the alphabet. That may be a general hint that our first item is going to be thinking outside the box. Be willing to delve into new ideas, to approach issues with new perspectives, to look for novel avenues of interest. As you choose your college courses, go outside your comfort zone. It'll open new horizons. If you're great in math and science, take an art appreciation course and learn why Van Gogh cut off his ear. Or study European history in the 19th century. Napoleon was a pretty interesting guy. Conversely, if you love literature, like me, and don't really care if 2 trains leave from different ends of the track on different speeds where they meet, you don't care about that, that's great. But then don't try advanced calculus or nuclear physics in school. But think about things like geology, astronomy, archaeology for courses to take to open new vistas. The next few years may well offer you the unique opportunity to explore all kinds of things both in college and also outside. You can work your golf game, master the intricacies of the newest technology, or become a gourmet chef. The world is changing rapidly because of innovation in so many areas. Communications, engineering, medical, media breakthrough, agriculture. It's virtually a given that some of you will enter professions that do not even exist today. As you go through life, keep in mind that the width of your journey is even more important than the length. Our second to-do relates to the non-uncommon goal of making the world a better place. This topic would appear to violate the criteria we just talked about. Let's look at this in a slightly different way. Let's make the world a better place by not making it a worse place first. Well, this may seem intuitively obvious. Many people are difficult in doing so. Your personal standards and values set the tone for this. In the real world life, whether that's college, at a job, and making financial business transactions, always act responsibly, ethically, and with integrity. You can spend a lifetime building a reputation and have it destroyed with one bad decision in 15 minutes. In your personal life, the age-old maxim of do unto others still makes a lot of sense. By exhibiting both high standards and common everyday courtesies, you can set an example for those around you. So many seemingly little things can add up to making the world a better, not a worse place. As you get older, somewhat more settled, more experienced, then you can begin to increase your impact on society, whether it's by helping others in need, inventing the next generation iPhone, discovering a life-saving drug, or helping the Cubs win the World Series. I should, in fairness and academic honesty, note the 2 previous paragraphs I just talked about owe acknowledgments to Charles Whelan, who wrote a book titled 10.5 Things No Convinced Speaker Has Ever Said. For the parents of the audience, I would appreciate your gratitude because I didn't talk about a different chapter of the book, which is entitled, Your Time in the Fraternity Basement Will Be Well Spent. However, for the graduates, the book is available at Barnes & Noble. The third to-do item involves friendships. You've made a lot of good friends in the academy, but after today, it'll be up to each of you to maintain contact. No more daily required 8 a.m. meetings. While you'll undoubtedly make more close friends in college, work, church, clubs, neighbors, etc., many of your current BFFs are already established. You have shared memories that can't be replicated. If you let them drift away, you'll lose a small part of yourself. As you go in different directions, it'll take effort to maintain your friendships. While electronic media makes it easier to keep in touch, it's still up to you to make the extra effort. Don't be seduced by the technologies that offer the illusion of companionship without the demands of friendship. Your lives will hold great joy, some sorrow, many newsworthy events. All these moments will be enhanced by having friends to share them with. It's not enough to share a Facebook page or Twitter following. Friendship requires a lot more effort. The qualities of loyalty, respect, fun, and trustworthiness. My best friend, who I went to school with here, signed my yearbook with this: "To the only one that I dare tell the truth to." I consider that to be the ultimate compliment. Although Dick and I lived in different cities, our friendship endured for 55 years. I was actually with him the day he died. The final item on our list is begin giving back. In about 30 minutes, we'll all have something in common. We'll all be alums of Morgan Park Academy. That status brings with it an obligation to begin thinking about giving back in some way. Your faculty and staff have given much to you during your time here. You have also given a great deal to the school and each other. This partnership is destined to endure through your lifetime. Please begin to consider how you can help to ensure the connection never ends. I'm involved in an organization in New York City that provides social work services to struggling youngsters in New York public schools. Did you know that up to 20% of New York City public school students don't have a permanent home? Most live with only one parent. Can you imagine trying to do your homework in a shelter? In such an environment, there's probably not a lot of peace and quiet, and not much in the way of internet connection. In contrast, you have, and will continue to benefit from, a relatively fortunate background. Please don't misunderstand me. You've worked very hard and deserve all the accolades and honors you're going to get today. And I am confident your high standards will serve you very well in your lives. Well, however, with these blessings and your inherent strengths come the responsibility to give back. Not necessarily money, but with your time. Many not-for-profit organizations need volunteers for tasks that are ideally suited to young men and women. Elderly people often cherish visits from young people. Just running errands with them or for them, or just having a conversation can be priceless. If you get in the habit now of volunteering, I can guarantee you'll enjoy a richer, fuller life for yourself. Bearing in mind that someone has some of the three elements to an okay speech, to be sincere, be honest, and be seated. And keeping that in mind, I will thank you very much for allowing me to chat with you today. Best wishes to each and every one of you. It's been an honor being up here.